when you got into this business, I know what you were thinking. You got into it, you were driving home when you found out you passed your license, and you were thinking, I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm gonna make so much money selling real estate. And 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, 3 years later, we fall into this trap. You fall into the trap that a lot of agents fall into, which is we say we're gonna be millionaires, and maybe we're even doing the activities that a lot of agents take to get to that level of production. However, we also do the minutia, the little things as well. And this is a mistake that I see so many agents make, is that we get into real estate wanting to be a millionaire, and we do activities that are much lower in terms of pay scale than a millionaire real estate agent would do. Let me explain. Let me kind of explain to you. And maybe it's not $1 million. Maybe it's like I wanted to make 100,000, or maybe I wanted to make 150 or 250 or 300 or 400 or 500, whatever your goal is, whatever your financial goal is. Here is my advice to you. You're a solo agent. You're watching this video and you're thinking, what is Danny talking about? This guy's rambling. Well, let me help you understand how to properly delegate to make sure that you're maximizing your input into your real estate business. So what I want you to do is reverse engineer the dollar per hour that you wish to earn. So, for example, you want to make $200,000 a year as a real estate agent. Awesome. Well, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but a realist or anybody who makes $100,000 or $200,000 a year, their hourly worth is $100 per hour. That's great. So what does that mean? Anything that you're currently doing right now in your business that can be done for less than $100 per hour, there is arbitrage there. Meaning, if you're still hammering the sign into the lawn, which I know some of us do, that is less than $100 an hour. And so what you're doing is, yes, you are saving the money. So a lot of us get into, oh, well, I'm saving this money. I'm doing it because I want to save the money. Well, that's great. You're saving $30, but you're spending $100 worth of your time, which means that the net effect to you is that you've wasted $70. So when we're thinking about building a business, when you're thinking about building a business, you have to think about it in terms of arbitrage. Are you buying yourself more time to go out and do more real estate activities that are going to help you sell more homes? Because if your time is truly worth $100 an hour and you're doing VA work that could be done by a virtual assistant for $6 an hour or $10 an hour, think about the net arbitrage on that. And that's where we need to start. So what I'd like you to do is take out a piece of paper and list out all of the activities right now that you're doing that don't directly involve sales, meaning don't directly involve you prospecting, nurturing business, going on appointments with buyers, going on appointments with sellers, negotiating contracts, and showing homes. Anything that you're doing aside from those activities and role playing and practicing and and client development, going on the MLS, doing research for your clients, all of that kind of like is considered valuable activity for yourself. So anything outside of that, I want you to make a list of all of the activities that you're doing and assign a dollar value per hour. Okay? Chances are everything on that list has a lower dollar per hour value than you currently wish to make, which means that one by one, we need to start pecking off each one of those activities. Now, is it going to happen overnight? Probably not, but you need to start somewhere. And where I would start is, where can I get the most bang for my buck? Well, I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of stuff kind of in that like $10 to $25 an hour range. There's going to be some more stuff in like that $25 to $50 an hour range. So the 10 to 25, that's back-end administrative type work. That's pushing papers, pushing buttons, that sort of stuff. The $25 to $50 an hour, that's higher level stuff. That's like operation stuff. That's marketing stuff. That's stuff that can be done by a professional in-house here in Silicon Valley or wherever you are. And then finally, the $50 to $100 an hour stuff, that's like a very high level admin or perhaps a director of operations, an inside sales associate. But these are also things that could be done by somebody else that's going to be making less per hour than you wish to make. And so you start at the bottom of the list and you're like, okay, well, how much of this can I delegate out right now? And where can I find help? Let me give you a few just very practical tips. Look at Upwork.com. There's no commitment. You don't have to like hire a VA for $40 an hour. Upwork.com is a very reliable source. I've used it for many, many years for various virtual assistant activities, helping build websites, helping build, I've had virtual assistants on Upwork even edit videos for me. For the last 2 years, we've had an editor contracted off of Upwork that edits a lot of the videos that you see on our Selling Silicon Valley YouTube page, the YouTube channel that's going to get us $40 million worth of business this year alone. That guy is on Upwork. So when you look at your $10 to $25 an hour activities, that's stuff that you can contract out with almost no commitment. Now it's scary because what this is it's an investment. It's a financial investment, but more than anything, it's arbitrage. Now, if you pay that money and then you buy back that time and you sit on your hands and do nothing with it all year, that's a waste. Yeah, you should do those activities. But then again, you have to ask yourself, well, do I have a business or do I have a job? Because if you're using the mundane activity to make you feel busy, then if I'm being quite honest with you, this business is going to dramatically change in the next 5 years to the point where that sort of stuff, like it used to make you feel good, it used to make you feel busy, but now the consumer is going to demand somebody that actually knows what they're doing with those kinds of things, right? So actually can edit videos at a high level, actually can do back-end administrative work for you at a high level. So while that could work for today's agent, that's not going to work for the agent of 2027, 2030. So we have to be thinking long-term with our business. Now, if you are, once you've gone through and you've nailed that 10 to 25, then it's time to start thinking, okay, well, who do I bring in-house to help me with this 25 to 50? And some of that 25 to 50 is also transaction management, which, by the way, you can hire a transaction coordinator per file right now. So a lot of the stuff in that $10 to $50 an hour range, you can even do contract work that doesn't require a commitment. It just requires an investment from you, and that investment is arbitrage. Now, what are you going to go do with that time? You're going to go prospect for more home buyers. You're going to go prospect for more home sellers. You're going to go on more appointments. You're going to show more property. Why? Because that is the stuff that's the skill. That's the skill-based part of this business that actually helps drive business results for you. So once you've done that, watch what happens to your business. Now you have more capital. After a year of doing that, you now have more capital. Why? Because the 10 hours a week that you bought back means that you have 25% more sales. Well, guess what? 25% more sales is a lot of money. And now you can go take that money and go hire someone in that $50 an hour range that's going to help do more cool shit for your business, whatever you want. Maybe an ISA, maybe an ops manager, maybe a director of sales, maybe I fill in the blank here, but you're going to find another piece of the puzzle to kind of put back into your business. And then this is a snowball effect, because 25% turns into, now maybe you decide, I'm going to hire more agents, right? So now you hire agents, and now those agents are out there making sales happen for you. And you understand, this is not a this is only advice that you want to take if you want to grow. If we have a scarcity mindset and we're thinking, Danny, I got to hold on to every penny that I make, that's awesome. And good for you. I would invite you to really think about the big picture and why you got into real estate. Did you get into real estate from a scarcity mindset where you're like, hey, I got to sell homes to get by? Or did we get into real estate to grow? And the only way to grow is to come from a mindset of abundance, which is like, hey, I have an opportunity to hire someone to come work and do some administrative tasks for me that are going to free up some of my time so that I can go out there and sell more homes. And then I'm going to be able to use that capital and reinvest it back into my business and continue that arbitrage, because that arbitrage is it's the winning formula. It's the secret to building a successful real estate business. Last thought on this is when we reverse engineer the value of your time, when you reverse engineer that value, I have a funny feeling most of us got into this business. If you got into this business, your aspirations were to have a six-figure business, I should say. And most of us are working a six-figure job right now. But if you want to build a six-figure business, it requires exactly what I just said, which is arbitrage. It requires you being comfortable and confident in knowing that, hey, I have these things here that I'm doing that aren't driving business results, that are sucking my time and sucking my energy, and I need to delegate that. And that's the difference between making 100K, 150K, and making 500K, $1 million. And guess what? You can do that without even being a solo agent. You can do that on a team. That is the beautiful thing about being on a team, by the way, is that a good team will have that arbitrage already built in, to where you can just plug in and say, hey, I'm going to use these systems, I'm going to use this support, I'm going to use this technology, and I'm going to crush it, and I'm going to sell more homes because these guys are helping me stay focused and living in the space, the dollar producing space, where I'm actually doing activities that drive business results. Everything before, everything after, me meeting with the client and getting them into contract gets handled by somebody else on the team. And that is arbitrage. Doing the stuff that drives business results and delegating, either by way of a team or by way of you investing your capital, your money, into another human being that is going to do something. They're going to take that time off your plate. They're going to take that activity off your plate so that buys you more time. That arbitrage is expensive at first. It might feel like, oh my gosh, I'm spending like how much a month? Oh, $15 an hour times 40 hours a week. That's a lot of money. You know, and then you multiply that by 4. That's, oh wow, that's even more money. That's a month. Wow, it's like $3,000 a month. Yeah, it's $3,000 a month. But if you buy that time back, what if you sold 2 more homes that month? What would that mean in terms of net income to you? It's $3,000 out, $20,000 in, and then you start to see what that math does for you long term. Like I said, the only reason to do this exercise and to reverse engineer what your time is worth, and the only reason to go through and build this business of yours is if you want to grow a massive, impactful business. If you want to stay small, don't do it. But if you want to grow big, you want your business to take off and succeed, then invest in yourself. Do the reverse engineering, figure out what your time is worth, delegate everything that is less than what you want to earn. This is Danny Gould, everyone. Selling Silicon Valley. Stay legendary, everybody.